Hi, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to look at taking the derivative of expressions or equations that have fractions or surds in them. So I've written down some key pointers that we want to just try and remember when we're doing these kinds of questions. So number one, we do not want any fractions or surds. So we want to try to simplify it as much as possible, get rid of the fractions, get rid of the surds and so on. Then number three, we just got to remember the rule when it comes to fractions. So for example, if we have like a plus b in the numerator and then divided by c in the denominator, so there's one term in the denominator, we can split that fraction up, a over c plus b over c. Then we also got to remember our laws when it comes to surds. We can rewrite a surd as an exponent. And then number five is when we're dealing with negative exponents, we can rewrite that as well. For example, x to the power minus m can be written as 1 over x to the power of m. So let's jump straight into it. Question 8.2, determine dy dx if y is equal to that. So as I said before, we want to try and get rid of the fraction. We don't want the fraction. So the first thing we can do is we can split it up. So we'll say y is equal to 9x to the power of 4 divided by 3x, and then minus 6 divided by 3x. Then let's try and simplify as much as possible. So 9 divided by 3 is 3, and then x to the power of 4 divided by x, that's x to the power of 3. Then minus 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then we're left with x in our denominator. Now we don't want fractions. So what we need to do then is take this x over to the numerator. So we're going to have 3x to the power of 3 minus 2 times x to the power of negative 1. So that's where these negative exponent laws are very useful. Now that we've gotten rid of the fractions, there's no surds, we can take the derivative. So we'll say dy dx is going to equal. So we'll say 3, this 3 multiplied by 3, so 3 times 3 is 9, and then x to the power, you minus 1 from the exponent. So 3 minus 1 is 2. And then you have negative 1 times negative 2. That's going to be positive 2, x, and then negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. And so that's dy dx, that's our derivative. Now let's take a look at question 8.3. So they say evaluate or leave your answer in a surd form. So here we have surds, we have fractions, and so we want to get rid of all of that and simplify as much as possible. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and just rewrite it just a bit. So I'll do that question right here at the bottom. So the cube root of x to the power of 3, that's simply x. So x minus 2x, and then x to the square root of x is x to the power of half. So multiplied by x to the power of half. And then that's divided by 3x. So we've gotten rid of our surds. Now we have fractions. So we can split this fraction because there's one term in the denominator. So that can be rewritten as x over 3x, and then minus 2. And now let's simplify this while we're at it. So remember our exponent laws. When you're multiplying the exponent and the bases are the same, you add the exponent. So the imaginary exponent one that's there is 1. So 1 plus half is 1.5 or 3 over 2. So 2 times x to the power 3 over 2. And that's divided by 3x. Now let's try and simplify as much as possible here. Here there's a 1. So this x will cancel that. And so we're going to be left with 1 over 3. Then here, we can simplify these exponents. So you have x to the power 3 over 2, and then divided by x. So if the base is the same, you keep the base and subtract the exponents. So 1.5 minus 1 is half. So this is going to be minus 2 over 3 times x to the power half. Now that we've gotten rid of all of our fractions, all of our surds, we can now take the derivative of this. So let's take the derivative. So we'll say they want d dx. So d dx of this expression right here, that's going to be, well, this is a constant, so that's 0. And then now what we'll do is we'll say half times minus 2 over 3 is going to be minus 2 over 6. And then x to the power half minus 1. So half minus 1 is minus half. Now let's simplify this a bit. So minus 2 over 6 times x to the power minus half. Now minus 2 over 6 is minus 1 over 3. So minus 1 over 3 times x to the power minus half. But the question said they want it in a surd form. So we can rewrite this in a surd form. So x to the power minus half can be rewritten as 1 over x to the power half. And we know that x to the power half is the same as saying the square root of x. So that's 1 over the square root of x. So we can rewrite this now as minus 1 over 3 times the square root of x. And that's our answer for d dx. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.